Hello.
Today we're going to talk about a film, one of my favourite films, and it's something that we've all thought about doing at least once or twice. It's not that much of a broad statement to make.
No.
But yeah, Falling Down is the movie special this time round, picked by Mike.
Yep. Classic.
I think this is an absolutely fucking awesome film.
Yeah. Something that we had on VHS back then.
Yep.
Sort of a mid to late 90s, I suppose every household was the same, but you had a certain amount of VHSs, didn't you? There were certain ones that were that everybody had that were popular.
Well, you had the clubs, didn't you?
Yeah, my parents were part of the Britannia Club.
There you go.
So you get them delivered through the post.
So Falling Down was one of them.
Yep.
The original Batman was another one. Everyone had that VHS, didn't they?
Terminator 2.
I had two double cassettes. Terminator 1 and 2 and RoboCop 1 and 2, they were my prized. Like, They weren't even mine, they were like my brothers, but like they were in the house. So look at the covers, that's how starved we were of things. I used to look at pictures of RoboCop. Like, look at him.
But we didn't have an internet to go and look at. Nowadays it can take you 2 seconds.
Yeah, and this was one of them films, wasn't it? This was a smash hit. Like, apparently quite mixed critical reception upon its actual release.
Yes, it's gone as a controversial film.
People didn't know how to take it, but there is
quite anti-American, anti-capitalism, isn't it?
Well, back in the day at university, when I did theatre and film studies, whenever you do an essay or a study on a film or a play, you put it into a political, social and historical context.
Right.
And there's a fucking lot of that in this film. If you talk about the backdrop, it's actually there in this, what it's really about.
It's a lot deeper.
Very meaty.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
There's a lot going on. So we'll get into all that.
That was so theatre, a smoking jacket appeared around your shoulders when you were talking about that, you know.
Well, the political context of the piece. Something one needs to consider.
Dear boy.
When one is critiquing a a telefilm, the moving image.
Very good.
The mise en scène.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
That is like the set and the set. That's like what you can see visually on the screen. The colours, the set, what's in the shot. That's the mise en scène. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong because I haven't used that for a long time. But yes, it's all there.
You're showing off now.
It's all in there. I don't know, film student, dear boy. How did that work out for you, Gaz? Did you get a job in the film industry? No, I drive a van and think about films.
In a way, you're still an actor. You go into work every day
pretend not to despise the people I deal with.
That's the one. We're all actors on the world of the stage.
Oh yes. Oh Lord.
Let's thank some new returning listeners, then we'll get into it. Ashburn in America, Rumlang in Switzerland. Is there anyone who want to jump in with a Switzerland Nazi gold joke?
No, it's just you.
No,
every time.
No, fine. Yeah, enjoy that Nazi gold. Hillsborough in the US, Nuremberg, have a chat with Switzerland. Villefranche, Soane and Valence in France, I don't know what you're doing listening. Pryor, Palm Bay in Washington in the US, Madrid and Spain, Guadalajara in Spain, Boardman, Oregon in the US, Brussels and Falkenstein in Belgium and Germany respectively, and Greenville in the US. French listeners.
What's France done to you this week?
You stick your nose up anybody that isn't British, though.
That's not true. I stick my nose up anyone that's not from Dorley.
Yeah. You call me Birmingham Overspill.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
You know, Gaz is a taff.
Taffia.
So, Falling Down is a 1993 American psychological thriller film directed by Joel Schumacher, written by Ebert Smith Rose Smith, and released by Warner Brothers on the February 26th, 1993.
So 93. So that's quite early in 93, isn't it? So it's sort of the build up. So it's 91, 92, and like. So this is new info to me today. Doing a little bit of research. The end of the Cold War fucked a certain section of several sections of Los Angeles were fucked by the end of the Cold War because there was some quite large industrial areas. And when the Cold War ended and these sort of industrial areas just ceased to be,
weren't needed anymore.
Yeah, that affected the black community and the Latino community quite disproportionately. You know, a lot of lower paid workers, factory workers, that type of thing. So these people were restless and unhappy. Police were being used to keep them in line.
Yeah.
The Rodney King,
all
that business. But then also, so Michael Douglas's character, though, he represents his literal name in the film is Defense.
Yes.
In the credits, he's got Defense on his number plate. He worked in defense in the boom period during the Cold War. Even him, the middle class white man, has been affected by this change in Los Angeles. So that's sort of like the kind of backdrop, and like the actual filming of the film had to stop because it was interrupted by the LA riots.
Wow.
So LA at this time, it was it was a tinderbox of just anger, and it's just before Clinton comes in as well, isn't it? So it's before the change, and apparently I heard today that the unemployment was at almost depression levels.
Wow.
At that early 90s in that particular area. And you've got police violence, police brutality. It's all just swirling around, isn't it?
Vandalism.
Yeah.
Crumbling infrastructure, street gangs, poverty.
Corporatism.
Yeah.
Crimes to the roof.
But people like him as well, because he's the failed family man, isn't he?
Yeah.
Another thing that I'd never considered that I did hear on another podcast today that I can't remember the name of, I'm afraid, but like even to the point of divorce was becoming more popular and more common, whereas it hadn't been in the 80s and 70s.
No.
So women were more empowered to be able to say, I don't have to stay with this cunt. Yeah. I'm going to divorce him, which his wife does, which he's that type of man's not used to that.
Of course not.
All this stuff is like feeding into this guy who used to be the king of the hill.
Well, he's got a well-paid job. He had a wife, a daughter. He loves dearly.
Nice house,
picket fence, and that's all gone.
It's about the American dream, isn't it?
The
and
American
how
dream has crumbled.
Yeah, it's crumbling before your eyes.
And I suppose from his point of view, if he feels like it's at no fault of his own.
No, of course not. It's external factors, isn't
economics,
it?
Yeah. He's been let down by the society that he helped defend.
Well, yeah, because
he says that
the top 1% run away with all the money. This is when it started.
Yeah.
Well, a bit earlier in the 80s.
And this film's giving you a slice of it from his perspective, the policeman's perspective, but also the people on the street that he...
Yeah, the small business owner.
Yeah.
Because another interesting thing...
Unemployed Latino kids and things like that.
Robert Duvall's character...
Oh, can you say how good he is in this film?
He's amazing, isn't he? He's really good in this
film. I think he's good in everything I've ever seen.
He and Michael Douglas are two sides of the same coin. They're both middle-class white men, right?
Yeah.
They're both... And I didn't think of this, and I've watched this film so many times. If you think Robert Duvall, all the young police around him in his department are not white.
No, they're not.
Non-whites, right? And they disrespect him, don't they, and don't take him seriously. He's having to deal with racial change, but he's dealing with it in a different way. And Michael Douglas, is dealing with it in his way. But they're both being forced to accept the changing world around them.
Yep. Well, he can't.
And he can't.
Spoilers.
So basically, long way of saying America is a fucking tinderbox, specifically Los Angeles at this point. And also, that's the other thing, the rise of white domestic terrorism. At this point, we've had the first World Trade bombing, Waco,
yeah.
Was first the year
World
before.
Trade
Oklahoma.
World Trade Center was Al Qaeda.
Okay.
Are you thinking the Oklahoma City bombing?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. That already happened at this
I
point.
think that was...
You definitely had Waco anyway.
You'd had Waco.
Militias are massively on the rise because of distrust of the government. All that's going on in the background of this. Like, early 90s, LA was not fun.
Who was the president in the early 90s?
Who was before?
It was Reagan and then...
Was it Reagan?
Reagan, Bush. Sorry, Bush was
Bush.
88 to 92 and 92 was Clinton.
So we've got Clinton in at this point.
Yeah.
He's just coming in now, isn't he? And that's the background to all this shit. And then we're introduced to our mate Defence.
Yeah. Divorced, and we find out later in the film he is unemployed.
Oh, but also another good, Michael Douglas at this point is known for being like, apparently he did a lot of erotic thrillers.
He did.
Which is a genre that doesn't exist ananymore, does it?
No,
the erotic
it isn't.
thriller. You'd be called a pervert if you tried to make one of them now. Or went to watch one. The erotic thriller, a big feature of late 80s, early 90s. Romance in the Stone, that type of thing.
Yeah.
He certainly wasn't seen as a...
I know that he took a pay cut
He wanted
to do this film.
didn't
He wanted to do
because it's
this.
an acting challenge.
Yeah.
Like, if you're known as...
Brilliant script.
If you're known as the pretty boy son of... what's his dad's
Kirk
name?
Douglas. Spartacus.
Son of Kirk, so you're sort of seen as Hollywood royalty a bit of nepotism, a bit...
Yeah.
It's all been handed to you, son. And so he's desperate to get his teeth into something and show people, like, oh, I can do this fucking
He's
acting
fantastic
business.
in this.
He's amazing in this.
Yeah.
He didn't win the Oscar then, no, I take
Fucking
it.
should have done. What else? Hang on. Should we see who got Best Actor in 1993?
Yeah.
Oh, 1993.
What do you guess?
I wouldn't like to say.
Tom Hanks was Philadelphia, or is that a bit...
He'd have probably won. This film's too controversial to win massive awards.
Who won Best Actor in 1993? Al Pacino for Scent of a Woman. It's
Wow.
a comedy, isn't it? He plays a blind bloke.
Yeah, it's like a romantic
Fuck off.
drama.
Nowhere fucking near as good as this.
No, but this film's
He's
too...
good in that film, mind.
He is very good, yeah.
Ooh-ah.
He doesn't ooh-ha as much all the way through that one.
She's got a great ass!
Ooh-ha! Kevin!
Have you seen him recently? He's just been doing a few interviews and podcasts and things.
Very old, isn't
Yeah, he looks like a fucking wild man, doesn't he?
What do you expect? He's just another kid.
Fair play.
What is wrong with these fucking... It's one thing I would ensure at his age with his money having sex with 19-year-old Brazilian supermodels. Are you on the pill?
This is his wife,
Yeah, I
but
say, I
she
think
is
he's
like
married,
But still...
40 years younger than him, 50 years younger than him.
Pill!
It doesn't matter,
I
does
do
he? He
not
won't be here
want-
much longer. You won't have to raise it.
I don't want another baby.
Eat pills for breakfast, please.
He's certainly been taking some pills of the blue variety, I think.
Oh,
So Michael Douglas plays Defence or William Forster, a divorced and unemployed former defence engineer. And it centres on Foster's trek across the city of Los Angeles. Trek across the city of Los Angeles as he attempts to reach the house of his estranged ex-wife in time for his daughter's birthday.
It's actually quite emotional and sad as well in places, this film, isn't it? It really does tug on your heartstrings in places.
Along the way, a series of encounters, both trivial and provocative, cause him to react with increasing violence and to make sardonic observations on life, poverty, the economy, and commercialism.
He's very big on like the amend the Constitution, isn't he? And traditional American, you know, he does lecture people a couple of times, doesn't he? In the film.
I think he's a Republican.
I'm willing to bet. Yeah. All the
Generally-
greats are. I bet.
Well, in some cases,
Clint Eastwood, Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker.
I was thinking more like Eisenhower and people like that.
Oh, sorry. Oh, real people.
Yeah.
Not wrestlers.
No, Abraham Lincoln for a start, you know.
Him.
Mind you, the Republican Party was a very different party when Abraham Lincoln had it. They were the left, technically, weren't they?
As they are now. They're more left than the left.
They're both right, mate, that's the problem.
Yeah.
$96 million against a $25 million budget, taking the top spot at the United States box office in its first 2 weeks of release. So pretty...
That's a fucking Any studio is going to be like, fuck yeah, because this would have been seen as I bet even at the time, it's a bit of a risk. This, you got Michael Douglas, who's known for being a romantic lead. Joel Schumacher had done a few artsy-fartsy films at this point, I believe, but he was seen as like a sort of an auteur, he was seen as a serious director.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious, because what was the film he made after this, gentlemen?
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever, followed by Batman and Robin.
Christ.
And then Showgirls, I think. No, that was Verhoeven.
Yeah,
anyway.
It was, yeah. Really didn't live up to my expectations, that film.
Do you know, I've never seen Showgirls. Never seen it. I heard it was dog shit. So, 25 million investment and 96 million return, that's fucking gangbusters.
So he definitely took a pay cut.
Yeah.
Considering its critique of America at the time.
Yeah, and people didn't know how to take it either. I think I mentioned this when we were watching it. I remember reading that right-wing people thought it was anti-white and left-wing people thought it was racist.
Well, at least you got something in common. You know?
I just don't think they were, because there's a lot going on in this.
There is.
On the surface, it's a simple story about a bloke who abandons his car and walks from one side of the city to the other, which takes him through some of the shittiest areas of the city, and he encounters trouble. Every single scene is laced with some political subtext and context of what's going on in America at the time. It's not just a straightforward. It's not Rambo, is it?
Oh God, no. He's no Rambo.
He's having a breakdown, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a psychological fucking absolute meltdown.
Yeah.
It's a briefcase, a lunch, and a man on the edge.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going. There's a lot of. They don't make fucking films like this anymore.
No, they don't.
Because there's so much money at stake. It's a bit like, how they make pop music by numbers. Like there's a certain tempo and pitch that they know will be successful. It's what because they can't risk losing 200 million or whatever. So we just
it's all formulaic now. Isn't it?
So we just get like McDonald's movies basically, which if they've got superheroes in, I'll give me the McDonald's, I'll take it. But you watch something like this and it just reminds you, like, fuck, we grew up on every film we watched, like, meant something, it had a point, there was things going on.
Even in Arnie films.
So
the 80s and the 90s were peak movie time for us, and I still think they are. I don't think anything's come out that tops it.
No.
I'll have the 70s in that as well, the independent.
70s cinema we studied that again. Sorry, but yeah, it was like depressionist and realistic and like uber, like just dark. 70s movies are dark.
Oh yeah.
Which is why Star Wars was such a like fucking out like. We can have fun at the movies.
I'm going to go to the cinema and be depressed.
Take my money twice. And everything changed from then on, didn't it? But like, up to that point, like the 70s was just about like the government being shit and like violence.
Well, that's the cinema
social decay.
Yeah, it reflects the mood, doesn't it? In the 70s, you just lost Vietnam.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You got a depression. There's all that fucking lead in the air.
Crisis of conscience
Serial
within the American
killers.
dream.
Yeah, the economy's not doing so great. There's an oil shortage.
And then after the boom and excess of the 80s, this now early 90s is another like rapid downturn.
Of course it is. Once Clinton signed NAFTA,
and
got rid of all the jobs, didn't it?
This film.
Well, yeah, but
it's quite prophetic, really, because
you don't need all them missiles then, do you? Don't need all them tanks.
Yeah. That's the thing, like we were saying, so he's Mr. Defence, works in, that was a good cushy government job, wasn't it? Right, enough for him to have a nice, sort of upper middle class home, the wife, the child.
Yep.
He loses it all.
Yep. And it all starts...
Through no fault of his own.
Well... He loses the job through no fault of his own, but
True.
I think he loses the wife because it shows in the home videos that they watch is that he always had that controlling, angry...
Yeah.
He was always a potential lunatic, I think. It was
he had a
simmering
temper.
away. It was simmering away, but like the system falling down around him, the death of the American dream just tipped him over the... What's happened to my America?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he says later on that he sold a lie, he was lied to.
It starts off...
Everybody has been.
The traffic scene at the start of the film.
Yeah, amazing scene.
I mean, the tension in it
That's
It makes
a
you want-
masterclass in filmmaking.
It is.
It makes you want to fucking snap. I'm getting wound up watching it.
It just sort of slowly glides past the cars, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And you see all the people in the traffic jam and they're arguing and shouting.
It's just the way he builds like a rhythm in the camera cuts from like all the little things that are building up in his head that are driving him mad. The noise of the kids on the bus, the couple arguing,
The fly.
the fly buzzing around, the yuppie on the mobile phone, even the traffic signs wafting and moving. It zooms up really close on them. Everything, all this.
The
stuff
broken air
around him.
conditioner.
Yeah,
It's an LA morning in that heat and all that exhaust, the fumes.
Isn't that incredible how like quality filmmaking can do that just with visuals? We can't feel that heat.
It was
we
like,
can't smell
I know,
it.
it was like 90 seconds as well, wasn't it? It wasn't long.
And it's like, oh God! Like another thing
It draws
like,
you in, doesn't it?
what I heard in the review, good filmmaking as well, where you see him go mad at the fly, like that shows you straight away without telling you about his temper.
Yeah.
You know straight away that
Instantly.
he can fucking pop. And he just has enough. It's like a kettle boiling, isn't it? That scene.
Yeah.
It's so masterful.
And he just gets out the car and just leaves. Just walks away.
Hey, where you going? I'm going home.
Yeah.
Man, enough, I'm going home.
Can't do that.
Fuck this. Well, he hasn't even got a job. We don't know at this point, but
Yeah.
he hasn't got a job to go to. He's
been pretending to
yeah,
go
for
to
once.
I know someone that did that. They pretended he's going to work for a month. Made the sandwiches, went out the house. You know, oh, I'm doing for overtime today. I'm doing 12 hours.
What the
Who
fuck?
did that?
Yeah.
Why lie and say
I know.
you've got overtime?
I know.
Because
And
then you
it
expected
comes-
more money.
It
You haven't
comes to
got
the
it.
end of the month, and the guy was like,
Yeah.
Where's the money? You know, we need that money. That's why you've got this job. That's why you've done overtime. We've got stuff to pay. Well, marriage over.
Would have been so much easier to tell her at the start that you lost the job.
No, it was she was going. She was the one lying to him.
What the fuck?
Marriage over. He's like, just get out of my house.
Well, yeah, how could you ever trust anyone who's capable of lying that consistently for that many days
Yeah.
about something so innocuous? You've lost your
Don't
job.
lie
That's
and saying you're doing overtime. You have to spend even longer outside the house trying to fake it.
You've lost your job. That's terrible. But you've got a new one. It's not the end of
Yeah.
She
life.
just go into a friend's house most of the time.
God.
Yeah. So straight away, opening of the film, you got this fantastic scene. So he's trying to he goes to a payphone as he walks off into the woods, onto the next street, finds a payphone, calls his wife, can't speak to her.
Yeah.
You know, he's got that thing, and he's just like, it's the old heavy breathing down the phone at that point, isn't it? And realises he has no more money, no more change, so...
Well, he's obviously finding it very hard to accept reality, isn't he? He can't really accept that he's lost the job.
No.
Can't accept that she's divorced him.
No.
Not only divorced him, but she has a restraining order against him because there's hints that he was violent.
He never hit her, but she thought he would.
That's it. She says it, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So straight away, all these things, like in a quick amount of time without hardly any dialogue whatsoever, we're being given all this information about him and who he is, and it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It is.
It's just really well made. It's thoroughly well made.
Makes a fucking change. Breath of fresh air in it.
It really is. So he finds a Korean convenience store. It won't give him change unless he buys something. He's only got $1.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll have a can of Coke.
He assumes the can of Coke's going to be 50 cents, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he'll get the 50 cents.
It's
change.
85 cents. That doesn't leave her enough money for the phone, does it?
No.
And that is it. It's just, we've all been there. We've all had them days. And he just thinks, what the fuck? And maybe there's a little bit of racism-ismness to it, but he looks at the Korean
Speak
chauffeur.
slowly and clearly.
Yeah, I think he would have reacted the same way with the white guy.
Because
He's like, fuck this, I'm fucking
you're profiteering.
price gouging, innit?
Yeah, that's it.
He does say to him, you come to my country, you rip me off, you can't even speak my goddamn language properly.
But I got to be honest though,
It
don't you
speaks
think
pretty
for
good.
Sort of 1992 America, that's a fairly normal attitude for
It
a white
is, yeah, I guess
person
you're right.
to have, not a particularly right wing or
I
extreme.
guess, yeah.
You know,
No one's probably got the balls to say it.
no.
he doesn't give a shit by this point.
At this point, his head's just lit. In this moment, 85 cents for a can of Coke is the fucking thing that has just sent him.
It's tipped him over the edge.
Because he's probably also not with no money coming in now, very aware of not having much money and things costed, and whereas before he wouldn't have had to worry about that with his
That's
cushy,
a good point,
with his cushy defence job and all that. He wouldn't have even thought twice, would he?
I'm like that. Now. It's like fucking. I'd rather go to Poundland and save, a few quid.
Mike, I was having this conversation with my mum, right, the other day, and this is me being very honest with you, listener. I was like, having to scrimp and save and hunt for the cheapest food and the deals and that. I said, it made me feel a bit depressed at first, but I said, it's been going on that long, I've got so used to it that I've learned to love it. I actively enjoy finding things cheaper and where the pasta's cheaper and all that, and I'm not going to be depressed about it because it's life, it's a game. I've made a game of it.
That's it.
Everything's a game.
Crippling economic depression, yay!
Cost of living crisis, it's just fun.
Have you ever considered a career in politics?
Levels. But so, 85 cents for a Coke, and he's had it with this poor shopkeep.
Yeah, so he refuses to leave. He's not going to leave. The Korean guy goes for a bat that he keeps under the counter. Defence or Bill, what do you want to call him for this? We call him Defence or Bill?
I like Defence. Well, in the credits, it calls him Defence.
It does. So Defence wrestles a bat off him. Doesn't really hit him with it, does he? He doesn't hit him with the bat.
I was quite surprised. Like, fucking, what are you trying to do, man? I was going to buy a can of Coke. You can hit me with a baseball bat.
We're just arguing.
Yeah.
We're getting violent, you prick. No, he doesn't hit him. He smashes the stuff up.
No, he
doesn't actually hit the guy.
No, he smashes a shop up.
Or does he hit him once?
He might hit him.
He might hit him to get the bat off him.
He knocks him to the floor, doesn't he?
Yeah, he knocks him to the floor, I think, but he doesn't like bat him.
No.
Maybe they're just fighting for the bat. And
just fighting for the bat. I think he presses down on him with his foot.
I love this bit.
He starts asking him prices, doesn't he? He points to different products. How much is this?
Donuts, pack of 6.
The guy says the price.
Too much.
Fucking shit.
Too much.
Smack. And so then one of them where he's like, oh, that's actually alright.
Yeah. Aspirin, how much? He's like, $2, too much.
Yeah. The third time he asks him, he's like, he says
a
a
lower
low
price.
He's like,
you're lying.
You're lying. At this point, I mean, he's a bit of a hero for us all, isn't he?
Well, this is why some people found it controversial at the time, Mike. But yes, we've all, as a working stiff, as working class people, as all three of us are, who constantly feel that we're being gouged and ripped off, and like the money coming into us doesn't go up, but the price of everything
That's it.
right in front of us just rises.
It's just blatant, fucking.
You just wish one day you had the balls to scream at the poor innocent girl in Tesco's who's got nothing to do with the prices. Why has this gone up 20p? So fucking all of it's a piss take. You're telling me Tesco's needs 20p more?
Well, there's a study as well, wasn't there, recently, in the cost of living crisis. 60% of all the price gouge, all the profits, all the money that they put up, 60% of it was price gouging for profits. Yeah. So only 40% of the price rises was legitimate.
Legit, like materials going up.
You've got to buy food.
Of course you have, and they know that.
You just can't not buy food.
Yeah.
They love it when there's a crisis like that. It's an excuse for them then make extra profits.
Oh yeah, profiteering, it's disgusting. That's what it is, and he's had enough. I'll make defence. Even though, to be fair, he's an independent shopkeeper, but still, at that point, it's just too much for him. He needs that 50 cents.
He's got to call his wife.
$1 on him. He's got to call the ex-wife who doesn't want to talk to him.
He doesn't even want to buy anything initially. He just wants to change. He's doing, he's playing the game. He's playing the rules. Okay, I've got to buy something. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And then when it's just too much for him, he's like, fuck you.
But then, after he smashed the shop up, he takes the nice cold can of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
He opens the register, he puts the dollar in, the dollar bill, and he takes out his 50 cents change. So he doesn't rob the man.
No.
He pays for his Coke, gets what he went in there for. He just gives him a bit of a lecture and...
Yeah, he says, I'm not a thief.
No. Just a lunatic.
Yeah.
And now I have a baseball bat. And a briefcase.
And a briefcase. And your lunch.
It's really interesting. You can see the look of him and the way he changes from the guy with the briefcase and the suit and tie Slowly over time, changing to the full military
Just
outfit.
like Rambo.
Fucking yeah.
Yeah. And we noticed that he starts with no weapons,
Yeah.
obviously, and each interaction he walks away with a
He
different
does,
weapon.
yeah. But
Which then gets used on the next person and it escalates.
But they tried to use it on him.
Yeah, at first,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Because it's not like Rambo just going on a spree.
No.
This is a bloke having a mental breakdown, and from his point of view, it's a reasonable breakdown because he's like, America's going to shit around me.
Yeah.
This isn't what I grew up to believe. It's like you said, this isn't what I was told.
That's it. He did what he was told.
Yeah,
Get
I
a
got
job.
the job, I got the wife, I got the house.
Yep.
So it's all gone. And you want 85 cents
For a can of
for a
Coke.
can of fucking Coke. So he leaves, armed
He
with a
leaves
bat
there.
now, his first little weapon.
He's got a bat, and he goes and has a little rest on a hill.
Why wouldn't you? He's got a hole in his shoe, hasn't
Yeah.
he? Can't afford new shoes.
Can't
see?
afford it. Plugs it with a bit of newspaper.
Again, thinking about that fall from grace of having a decent paid
Yep.
Yeah.
weapons defence job to having holes in your shoes.
I'm willing to bet that the car he was in is not the car he used to have.
Yeah,
He's
probably
kept the
had to
plate.
downgrade, yeah.
But that's why he's, you know...
He
he's
could
had
be
to
late on the
downgrade.
payments, you never know.
Yeah.
He might not have it for much longer.
And he's approached by two Mexican gang members who I think are a little bit out of order here.
A little bit, yeah.
This
but-
is our
They
territory.
see an easy mark, don't they?
They do, but it's like...
That's what they think,
and
anyway.
he's just like, look, I'm just having a rest.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home.
Well, it's a man in a white man in a shirt and tie and
Yeah.
a briefcase, just chilling on a rock in their territory, and they see him as an easy mark, don't they?
Yep.
This fucking idiot cracker's wandered into our territory.
Yeah.
We're going to take a toll off him before he leaves, which is what they try to do. Because don't they ask him for? They pull the knife out. Why do they pull? Because he's like he refuses to give him his briefcase.
Yeah.
That's it.
So he pulls his little... It's a butterfly knife, isn't it? One of them ones that flicks out. And he's like, well, okay, you know what? Have it. You know, you're still ridiculous. You know, have it. And of course, he goes to go and get it, and the bat is there underneath it.
Yeah.
So he wails on them with the bat.
I think he breaks one of the
Yeah, one of them
arms,
falls
doesn't
down
he?
the stairs.
Yeah.
Like, there's a set of concrete steps going. He goes down the steps and breaks his arm. And the other one gets it right across the face, and then he picks up their knife.
He's like, ooh, how did they do that? And he flicked his few little experimental flicks out with it, doesn't he?
And now he's upgraded from a
Yeah.
baseball bat to a stabby knife.
Isn't this just like Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, it is
in
a
a
bit,
way.
actually, isn't it?
Literally is now that you mention it. Yeah.
His wanted ratings going up now. He's on
never
1
thought of
star
it.
now.
I never
When
thought
you
of it
start,
like that.
literally, when you start Grand Theft Auto, you have no weapons.
No.
You do the first couple of missions, and they give you like maybe you get a baseball bat.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
you might
and
get
then
a
you
pistol.
might get a handgun.
Yeah.
You certainly don't start with a bazooka
No.
and a chainsaw. No, yeah, it is very much like GTA.
Yeah, but his wanted rating goes up because
Yeah,
as soon as he
yeah.
trashes
Now
the
he's
crew,
on 1 star.
he's on 1 star. Now he's on 2. But he's also now got a gang after him.
Yeah,
Some Mexican street punks who come past in a car. They've got a lot of guns.
they certainly have.
Well, at the same time, he's got the police after him now.
Yeah.
They don't know who he is, but they know about the...
Because the Korean guy's gone
Yeah.
to the police.
Yeah, the shopkeeper.
He's gone into robbery, and he's like, what did he steal? He says, well, he didn't steal anything.
And that's the bit that gets Robert Duvall's ear.
Yeah.
Well, the first time he's not paying attention that much, but he says, what did he steal? Nothing. He paid for the coke and he left with his change, but he smashed up my fucking shop. And he's like, okay. Because then, later on,
That's-
I know I'm jumping ahead, when he does the restaurant and pays for his thing, when Robert Duvall hears that detail, he's like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
He also
Clicks
pushed his
instantly.
car out the way, didn't he?
uh,
made
Oh, he
that
did,
mention,
yeah. Forgot about that.
He pushed
Yeah.
his car out, pushed his...
because he's
was
stuck
in-
in traffic too,
Yeah.
not far behind him.
It's his last day on the force. He's too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Well, no, he doesn't want... Prendergast is an interesting character because he doesn't want to retire. It's his wife making him retire.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do the desk job. He liked being a cop. He liked
Yeah.
going out.
Yeah.
He got in some trouble and she... But
He
it
got back.
has-
He got back, didn't he? One night, and she was like, she thought that he had died, and he was a ghost.
Yeah,
She
Yeah.
had a
that's it,
freak
that's-
out.
Yeah, she'd got a bit mental.
Yeah.
How's this for, you just reminded me in that traffic bit, how's this for a bit of a filmmaking, put our film studies hats on.
Okay.
What's the character's name?
Defense.
Robert Duvall.
Oh.
Sorry.
Prendergast.
Prendergast. So he's repressed and being controlled and contained by his he's being stifled by his wife, isn't he? By her illness, let's say. When he looks up at that billboard and it's like the Hello Boys tits together, isn't it? Somebody's graffitied a little man stuck between the tits and it says help. He looks at that and laughs, doesn't he? Well, I heard somebody say earlier that that's a representation. The reason he identifies with that and laughs, he's not like, tits. It's a man being stifled by femininity, isn't it? Help and stuff.
Oh, very clever.
See, levels.
Wow.
Filmmaking.
Because his balls are in her handbag.
Yes, this is what filmmakers do. They do visual things that mean things.
God, I miss them days.
Yeah.
You know, the gang members, now in a car with two associates, find Foster finally getting to use the payphone.
He tells his wife that he's coming home.
I'm coming home.
She's like, no, you can't.
You can't come home.
We have a restraining order.
I am. It's her birthday. I'm coming to see her, and I'm going to see
She
you.
calls the police, doesn't she?
Yeah.
That's what he's convinced himself. It's very important that he brings her a gift. And again, that shows he's got no money, isn't it? Because he has to buy it from like a flea market type place, doesn't he?
It's a little snow globe to begin with, isn't it?
You know, whereas he used to have the money for a
dog
class house and
golden retrievers aren't cheap.
But he's lost it all. He's literally on his arse. There's fucking holes in his shoes. He's as economically fucked as these communities that he's passing through. Despite being a middle class white man.
He's not economically viable.
No.
I like that dude.
Yeah.
Amazing how he's not hit here. I don't know. That was one thing in the film. I'm like, they hit everyone around him, but somehow don't hit him.
That's the nature of a drive-by, though, with those type of guns, isn't it?
There's spray, but it hits two people to the right, and then two people to the left, and he's miraculously unscathed. I mean, bullets go in lines.
He doesn't panic at all, does
No,
he?
I do suspect he's some kind of veteran.
But do bullets go in lines, Ben, if you're holding the gun straight?
Well, yeah, but it's weird that you go
What if
down
you're
your
just
arm level and they go,
But if
back
you're
recoil maybe.
If you're some
okay.
fanny...
Driving along in a car.
You're a fanny little gangbanger
Go over
with
a
no
bump.
military experience who has this machine gun shooting it one-handed out of the window of a moving car.
I guess you're right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to be Rambo accuracy, is it?
No.
But it's still quite funny that it hits
everybody around him.
apart from here. I think that's just like a...
And he just
kind of
calmly
a
hangs on the
comedy
receiver.
Because that's another thing, there is...
Picks up his briefcase, just slowly walks past.
But there's an underlayer of like actual comedy in this as well.
there
It's
is.
really
There is.
funny.
Yeah.
That's one of the like a fucking pregnant woman gets shot, and like, he's like, picks up his briefcase like
Calmly
you say,
walks around the corner. The car's crashed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Car's crashed.
There's one
Car's
guy
crashed.
hanging out, half dead.
Yeah, he walks up, and what does he find?
A big bag of guns.
But he doesn't shoot the guy. Apparently, I heard today they originally shot that he executed that guy, but when they did the testing before it was released, the audiences were like, no, because that makes it harder to root for him then.
Yeah.
Even if they're gangsters, a guy crawling away from a car accident, do you know what I mean? It's just cold-blooded, isn't it? Like, so
a
instead
bit,
he shoots him in the leg.
Lets him off with a leg wound.
Yeah. Well, he walks off with the hold all.
And he has a bag full of
Fuck it,
guns.
so now he's gone from
Bag full
baseball
of very
bat,
big
butterfly
guns.
knife to fucking an arsenal of machine guns and all sorts.
Grenade
handguns
launchers.
in there.
There is a fucking grenade, a rocket launcher. Well,
RPG.
it's not an RPG. It's a law.
There you go. A what?
Light anti-tank weapon. It's a law. There's one shot disposable.
I am the law.
You just like exactly like in the film. You pop it out. That arms it. The sight pops up. You put it to your shoulder. You look for the sight. You point it. It fires. You throw it away.
One shot.
Yeah.
Fair play.
It's what we've been sending Ukraine for the last year, 2 years, basically. But yeah, that's an impressive fucking gun bag. You gotta hand it to him. Then he gets this weird he goes, I was a Vietnam veteran. Oh, this guy's harassing him, this homeless guy. I'm a Vietnam veteran. He looks at him, he goes, what? You were like 6 then? No, I'm in the Gulf. I'm a Gulf War veteran.
What does he say? Were you the drummer boy?
Yeah, you're the drummer boy.
Yeah.
Again, the comedy again.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a dark comedy, isn't it?
There's a lot of that. There is some really funny lines in it.
People claim the comedy is meant to be. Someone said it was meant to be funnier, but the lines just don't land. But I don't fully agree with that. I think where there's meant to be humour, I think that there's humour.
Isn't it interesting that it takes like people like Joel Schumacher and Paul Verhoeven, who made RoboCop, to come over from Europe and make American-style films,
Critique
but
America.
make them critiquing American society, but subtly without probably the people financing them really knowing what's actually being said, isn't it?
Yep.
Interesting that. But
We should make better films, really.
well, we used to.
Well, yeah. So, it's only still like 10:30 because
he gives in the briefcase. We told him that.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He ends up giving him the briefcase, and he's like, "Yeah, go on, have it. I don't need it anymore." And it's just his lunch in there. That's it.
Yeah.
That's something. Your first twig is then he's unemployed. Then.
Yeah. So the weird's going on.
Yeah. So he goes to a fast food restaurant. We'll say it's like a Mackey's, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a take-off of a Mackey's. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Other fast food restaurants are available.
Yeah.
He goes in there. I want to have breakfast, please. No, you can't. We switched the lunch menu. But it's 5 minutes after the
Not even that.
time. You know.
It's like 3 minutes.
And they don't have to try hard to get the breakfast, because it's right there.
It's
Yeah.
literally right there.
It's just corporate law that we don't sell it after this time. Sorry.
I love.
And it drives him mad.
Yeah, I love the girl behind the counter.
She's
all
just
through
like-
this, she doesn't give a shit.
No.
She's just like, just
Yeah.
stood there watching, just having
She
a.
kind of has a bit of a flirt with him in a way.
does a little
'cause
bit,
she's
yeah.
like, "Oh, you can call me like Ms. Foster if you want." And he's like, "Okay." And then he does. He goes, "You, Mr. Foster, I'm sorry you're involved with this."
Yeah.
You know, and then she's looking at him like, well,
I did hear on one of the pods I listened to that apparently she was a really shit actress who just kept almost ruining every shot, because every time Michael Douglas did his dialogue, it made her laugh.
Right.
So that's why in every shot, if you think about it, it looks like she's barely containing
it does,
a
yeah.
laugh, and
That's
that
what
was
I
the
mean.
best they could get, like, because they didn't have the money to be like, "Oh, we'll do this again tomorrow." Like, that's a pretty low budget film. That is 25 million,
yeah.
even for 92. Today, in today's economy, the average rom-com. So think about that, a rom-com with no special effects or anything like that. The
100
average
mil.
rom cost 60 to 90. So not far off, but that's a lot of fucking money for a movie where people talk for an hour and a half. That's just your locations, catering, all the equipment, everything. So even back then, 25 million is fuck all, man. So, but anyway, yeah, she's like, she almost ruins the scene in a way. So she just comes across like this weird stoner, like, like.
I quite like her performance. I thought she was. I didn't realise that she was just a shit actress and couldn't act.
But she couldn't be terrified. Everyone else around is shitting themselves.
Yeah, I know.
She was
Yeah,
like,
well, that's why she stood out for me. I was like,
But you do get people like that.
yeah, you do.
In
Yeah,
the
just
fast
some
food
face.
places.
Well, she's working there because, no offence to the girl, she's not very bright.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So this for her is the most interesting thing that's happened in
Exactly.
fucking months.
I've definitely been.
And he's got the gun in his hand. When he does get the gun in his hand, it's clear that this bloke's not going to shoot anybody, isn't it?
I've definitely been served by uber stoned young people. I remember it's one of the first times I felt quite old. Like, I went into the McDonald's by big Tesco.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I asked. No, it was the KFC. Because I wanted a Big Daddy box meal, right? And the burger has a hash brown on it. And I asked for that. And she was like, "Oh no, we can't do that because we've run out of hash."
Yeah.
And then did like a stoner laugh. And I was completely unamused. And I was like, "Do you mean you've run out of hash browns?" And she's like, "No, KFC's run out of hash." And like, he's just laughing to himself. And I'm like, I just want to bounce your fucking head off this counter, you
Give me my
stoned little
fucking
prick.
Big Daddy
Yeah.
chicken box.
Don't make stoner. You're at work, you're in the uniform, you're representing the company, you're an ambassador for the brand. You're making jokes about drugs. You're being paid for this, it disgusts me. Because I'm in my 30s now. At the time, I'm into my 40s now. But I remember
God
just
knows what
walking
you
out
do
there
now.
thinking, fuck, I'm old now, because that genuinely infuriated me. I was like, I'm standing there laughing at your own stoner jokes. Joking about KFC's run out of hash. Like, you fucking idiot.
Maybe she sort of looked at you and thought, he's a stoner.
Oh yeah, he'll think this is hilarious.
hilarious.
Oh no, I will not, young lady. No, I will not.
Give me the Big Daddy box with my fucking hash brown.
Haven't got what I asked for, and now you're doing stoner jokes.
Is it wise that I showed you this film again? Because you just
No,
can't get
because
ideas.
you're going to read about me in the news next week. A Telford
Shouldn't have picked this, really, should I?
A Telford man was arrested today at Burger King after beheading a 17-year-old stoned girl.
And a manager. Just for good
No,
measure.
he's alright, he's alright.
Oh, the manager in this is a right prick.
In this one, yeah.
So he has an argument with the manager and then pulls out a gun and fires into the ceiling accidentally before going around going, "It's okay, that was an accident."
Enjoy your meal.
Enjoy your meal. How's the burger? Is that nice?
Yeah, that one woman just vomits all over. Oh shit! I think we got a criticism of the special sauce over here.
If it was me and a man with a machine gun held up the McDonald's I was in, I would try and quietly choke myself on my Big Mac. Rather than confront him or just wait for it all to go over. I'd find a way to kill myself quietly.
This guy killed himself on his own Big Mac.
I'm still eating.
It
No
wasn't
one's
even a real gun, it was a water pistol.
You can fucking shoot me. Nothing's coming between me and my Big Mac.
I'm going to take your Big Mac and throw it to him, who's going to catch it, and you're just going to rugby tackle him.
Couldn't somebody have just said, yeah, you can have my breakfast?
Well, I'm just going to steal yours.
But that's what's annoying about it, and I feel for Michael Douglas in this scene, because after firing the machine gun into the ceiling and threatening and terrifying everyone, they just turn around and oh look, there's the breakfast.
Here's
They don't even have to cook it, it's already there.
They're probably just going to chuck that.
Yeah.
No, he just changed his mind. He says, "You know what? I won't have breakfast. I'll have lunch."
But they are there because they get it. They get it ready.
Yeah, she literally just turns around and grabs it.
And then he changes his mind and she has to switch it.
Yeah. And then, of course, the main criticism of your McDonald's style restaurant is that Big Mac that look on the picture looks fuck all like the Big Mac you receive.
I love that bit. Yeah, he really good. Because we all know that's true of every food establishment on the face of this earth. Every kebab shop, every chip shop. The picture up on them.
I don't know. Some of them dodgy kebab shops, the pictures look weird. I don't know when they get them from. Don't they? They look appetising at all.
But you know, some of them have got the giant burgers, though, haven't they? And McDonald's photography is a piss take. Fuck off. Big Macs they don't just stand up, they've been chucked together. They look like they've been made with somebody who swapped their hands for flippers. Yeah. Looks like a fucking Quasimodo made it. They just like fire the lettuce at the fucking box with an air cannon and then put the lid down. Like, how hard is it just to stack it up nicely? Well, anyway. Like, he has a proper good rant, doesn't he? He does. And I feel, at this point, we're all on his side, aren't we?
I am, yeah.
And to be honest, I'm on his side all the way through till you realise that he's like trying to force his wife to still be his wife. You're like, oh God, he is really mental. But for most of it, I'm like, go on, lad.
He's not a cunt, is he? He's like, you know, he's like, I don't want to hurt anybody in the restaurant. I just want my fucking breakfast.
I just happen to have a massive bag of guns.
There is a massive bag of guns.
And I've lost it. So I might as well threaten you.
He never points a gun at anybody, you know. It's always up in the air.
At this point, Prendergast, like you say, he's heard about this incident and he's put two and two together.
Yeah, he's actually doing some good cop work.
No one believes him.
Day.
No one listen to him.
No one's interested. He doesn't exist as far as that. His boss thinks he's a coward because he doesn't want to be on the streets anymore, even though he's only doing it for his wife. The young people around him, none of them are...
They don't respect him.
They don't respect him, they don't listen
There's
to him.
There's that one prick cop.
Apparently...
The lanky white guy.
Yeah, oh God. He ends
up
smacking him,
he deserves it, doesn't he?
He does. God, he's one of the best cinema pricks I've ever seen. He's awful.
He's up there with the Ghostbusters guy.
You know, I think we missed something, because I've watched this film several times, but on a pod I listened to on my walk here, they said that apparently it's said that he had an affair with that younger one. You know, the one he goes to dinner. But I didn't catch that. But apparently something happened between them, apparently, but then they stopped, right. So I don't know, we must have missed that line, but...
I didn't...
I just picked up a friendship and mutual respect.
Yeah, because he used to be his partner.
Yeah. So he obviously taught her everything
she must have been like...
Like a mentor, sort of a father
figure. When he was on... they put a younger cop with an older cop,
but it was the early 90s.
I don't think he'd have cheated on his wife.
I think in the early 90s, if somebody assigned you a younger female apprentice, it was expected that you shagged her.
I think
I'm joking.
Maybe he did, and that's why he feels like he has to be under a thumb. In a
Yeah,
way.
I think that's
Yeah.
what like.
He has to show loyalty to her now, even though she's totally lost it, and ruining his life, really.
I don't think he'd do it.
Because he's a
Because
joke
he always says, "Oh, she was the prom queen."
Yeah, yeah, she was.
It might have been implied that he'd done it, but I don't think it's.
I don't know.
They lost their daughter as well. That's why she was mad, wasn't it? She lost the plot over that.
Yeah. So that's another parallel between them. In different ways, Defence and Pendergast, they both lost their daughters.
Yeah.
Their wives are.
And they're both on their last day.
They're both not getting any respect. Yeah.
So yeah, Prendergast realises that, hang on, this bloke who was doing all of this and doing some actual police work, like interviewing people, realises that this guy's in a white shirt and tie, and it's a white dude in these really bad multiracial areas of the city.
Well, it's gangland territory.
Gangland Central, just having a calm stroll through while not butchering, but certainly shooting up the place.
Yeah.
Causing mayhem.
Yeah.
So, Prendergast and his partner, Detective Sandra Torres, visit Foster's mother, Defence's mother, who is surprised to learn that he's lost his job. So he's literally, as we said, he's just going out to work every day.
Pretending. Probably just sitting in his car.
Yeah. They realise Foster is heading towards his former family's home in Venice and rush to intercept him. So they know who he is, they know where he's going. But she, in the meantime, his wife, his ex-wife, has had the police out, and because he hasn't been there, because he's been held up, basically, by all these incidents, they're like, we're going. He's not coming.
I'll be honest with you, I identify, like, my ex, I shan't say her name, but the one I lived with, she kicked me out and finished with me, and then about a month later I lost the job that I'd had for 12 years. So all at the same time, you know, I was pretty close to shooting up a McDonald's, I'll be honest. You start to feel like, well, what the fuck, what else are you going to have from me?
That's it, mate. If we lose our job, we lose everything, don't we?
It literally felt pointless and worthless.
If the rich fuck up in their jobs, they just get a better job.
He's a promotion.
Yeah.
They fail upwards.
I know, it's just... Oh,
Wouldn't it be nice to fail upwards? Like
Boris
Johnson.
Now I should be a CEO of somewhere.
Boris Johnson should be president of the fucking world.
Well, careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
He might work his way up in the WEF. We don't know what he's up to these days, do we?
Well, that's true.
They don't realise the pressure that everyone is under there. They don't have a fucking
We're all
clue.
one fucking disaster away from financial ruin.
Yep.
Well, not even a disaster. I'm one big thing going wrong on my car away.
Or your health.
Do you know what I mean? Well, yeah, I can't work and no one will pay for me not to work. Yeah. So, I'm just saying, I'm on Defence's side.
I completely sympathise with him.
I completely sympathise with him. I don't condone the violence. I mean, he's not instigating the violence on most.
Self-defence.
We've all wanted to smash up
know.
a Korean
That's what I mean.
supermarket, Mike, be honest.
You smashed it up 2 weeks ago, Mike. You told me you did.
Oh, they just kept shouting. Be as loud as you want, I don't understand.
Although obviously I don't condone the violence, I can definitely empathise with him.
He's a victim of his marriage going wrong. He's a victim of his own mental problems. His temper.
Do you think he's a veteran? Did you ever?
Possibly.
Maybe not a combat veteran, but certainly.
No. Did he do like a bit of national service, like
I think
maybe
maybe
your
like,
18 months?
He was a store, like in the stores, or being a clerk, or something like that.
Maybe in the reserves.
Maybe the National Guard. I think he served.
They don't explicitly say, but he definitely, because he doesn't seem that competent with any of the weapons.
No, that's why I'm thinking maybe a clerk or something like
but
that.
I'm pretty sure in the bedroom when they're looking, the detective, I'm sure there's a couple of like military pins. And
But
there is,
I
yeah.
think that's his dad. I think
might be
it's
his
his
dad.
dad.
Oh, that might be his dad.
I think it's so. But I remember me saying, I said when we watched it, so if his dad was a high up military man, then he would have passed on some of that. So he doesn't know his weapons and that, but he's disciplined, isn't he? Everything's clean and tidy. Everything's because he's been raised.
Yeah.
That's been pumped into.
Probably in a bit of an abusive
Possibly.
fatherhood in that
and
respect.
he has respect for that.
Yeah.
That's why he went and worked. Maybe he feels that instead of working in as a defence analyst or whatever he was, one of these companies, or you should have been on the front lines.
Well, maybe he couldn't cut it and he had to drop out.
Yeah, we don't know.
He couldn't get in. Maybe he wears glasses. Maybe he was. It's too bad you can't get in. So he trying to appease his dad by
the nearest thing you could get.
Nearest thing you could get. Yeah. I think there's definitely some military. Definitely
hinted at.
He's
because he also is in quite good shape and can run.
But then again, he doesn't know how to use an RPG, does he?
No, if he was a clerk, he wouldn't be taught that.
Maybe.
It's a law as well.
And he fires in the ceiling, doesn't he? He's not used to handling guns.
Yeah. I think the simplest explanation is because there's that very brief shot, and nothing's by accident in these type of films back then. They didn't put the camera on that. It's like a mantle or a bedside cabinet or something with a few pictures of this guy in different military stuff and his medals. Is there medals possibly?
Well, it costs so much money and time to get every frame.
Nothing. This filmmaker, nothing's by accident.
No.
So that shot is there to briefly tell you, because they didn't spoon feed you and treat you like a fucking baby back then either.
No.
I think that was his dad, and from that we're led to believe that's where his discipline side
I think that
comes from. I think that's the simplest explanation, because he's not knocking people out and going mad like Rambo style, is he? He's like he's not that comfortable with the guns and things, but he's definitely drawn to he picks that military uniform and the boots, doesn't he?
Yeah, later on,
So, but I think that shot's there just to literally very briefly tell you as the audience quickly, that's where it comes from. His dad was disciplined.
Drilled it into him. You get the feeling that's where he gets the temper from. Is
because
probably
he's controlling. Remember in that home video, he's getting angry because the dog or the kid won't sit on the rocking horse long enough for him to get the perfect shot, and he's getting angry about it because he doesn't understand that the kid's not good. Let the kid be a kid, man. She's not gonna. But he's and the wife's obviously.
He's trying to have the perfect family, isn't he? The perfect photo, the perfect video.
Yeah, control it all. He can't. And that obviously freaks the wife out. That's a massive red flag. Like when you're losing it with the child, not understanding that she won't sit still. By her very nature.
Mainly because he's working all the time, and actually doesn't spend that much time with her.
He even gets the blonde Labrador, like you say, to the picket fence. The whole look, we've got it all, but then it all went from him. And so
Just also point out on a men's mental health aspect here. A lot of you guys our age or in their 30s are killing themselves for this fucking reason. They lose their job,
lose access to their kids.
We're drilled into us as a man, protector, provider, and that's been taken away from you. What else are you? And that's where you feel like a failure. And that's what drives a lot of men to the edge, falling down over the edge.
Sad, isn't it? It's terrible.
Falling down.
Yeah, it's but no one's talking about it.
No,
and thousands of guys are doing it a week.
Yep.
Well,
biggest killer of men our age is around hand.
That's a good point to.
We'll do this as 2 parts then. Yeah.
And we'll finish our analysation.
Analysation. Yeah. So
I'm glad you aren't picking them.
Analysation 2.
There nearly is an analysation later on in the second half. I was,
nearly.
Very, very close. So thank you for listening. Come back next week for part 2. I've been Ben. Remember, do as I will, but live under law.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
I've been Gaz Freebiff Tanner.
Bye.